exactly.
Yeah,
It's the
like
shawarma
that.
scene, which
Right.
is basically relationships
Yeah.
instead of leading to something big in the
Right.
next film.
Right,
you know.
right. I think the way I see it, because I've read a lot of stuff, like, how the making behind the scenes on this, is that they really didn't want it to be what happened with Iron Man 2. Which was Iron Man 2 was always like parang, it was like the precursor to the Avengers, or the
Yeah.
precursor to Thor.
Right.
It's always build up. It was never, the main complaint about that movie was that it was all advertising for future movies, right?
Yeah.
There's even a mention of Captain America in there and all that.
The shield was there.
Yeah, so it was like that movie was all over the place. So Shane Black and the producers were going, we gotta make this an Iron Man that stands alone by itself.
And you really do feel that. I mean, there's a point where you see all these armors.
Right.
An Iron Legion, basically.
Right.
And Tony jumps from armor to armor to armor.
So,
And, it, like, Maggie Adan of K-Zone, the editor-in-chief, she didn't like this movie. Okay, because right after we saw it, I texted Maggie because she was going to ask me questions about it. So I said, so Maggie didn't like it, but she said, I get it that they had all those armors to show that it's the man inside who's important, not the armors.
there you go. Yeah.
There's that's another point. She also got that Lethal Weapon vibe, even though she wasn't aware yet that Shane Black was involved in Lethal Weapon.
Okay.
But she reacted to it in a negative way, unlike us,
Yeah.
because we're fans of the Lethal Weapon
Yeah.
movies. And I said, but Maggie, he did Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, and that was awesome. She was okay. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang was pretty funny. So, again, differing opinions on this film, which is great for debate's sake.
Yeah.
I really do see the point.
Yeah.
It's encouraging that people are talking about Iron Man.
Yeah.
I never thought it would happen that Iron Man would be a multimedia superstar, and I'd have all these Iron Man T-shirts and all these toys. By the way, McDonald's is get the Iron Man Power Meal courtesy of McDonald's. Order quarter pounder with cheese, or Big and Tasty, or a Big Mac. It includes large fries and large drink. You get the choice of one of 4 Iron Man posters. Okay, there. So,
Special.
yeah. So there. I never thought that Iron Man would be a multimedia superstar,
neither
and
did
people
I.
are talking about it.
Yeah. Exactly.
And apparently, my brother posted online the other day that since the Philippines, we got to see Iron Man a week before the US. So on the Iron Man Facebook page in the US, all these people from other countries, I think specifically India, were spoiling it for the Americans and ruining it, and the Americans were so pissed. And I'm like, hey man, it's good to be Asian.
Sorry.
There.
That's how you set it up.
Exactly. So.
Well, okay, in contention to what you were saying, like for example, with the Mandarin, I mean, yeah, we already talked about this, that he's basically a politically incorrect character.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, very much so.
Very much so. So the way they were trying to interpret him for the big screen had to be different.
Yeah.
And of course, I always knew there was something off about how the
accent was so off.
The
There was
accent,
something wrong about it.
even the
It's like
costume.
Ben Kingsley is such a good actor. He wouldn't go that way.
Exactly.
He's such a good speaker. He wouldn't go that way.
Yeah, exactly. That, and then even the costume for me was off.
Right.
I was going the whole time, this is the big bad for Iron Man.
Right.
It didn't seem something like, a credible threat for me.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And of course, though, when I read the behind the scenes stuff, they were already saying that it's not gonna be he gets his rings from a space dragon.
Right,
It's
right.
not that's not what's going to happen.
Right.
I was thinking, okay, what are they gonna do? All right. So I wasn't that disappointed when it came out that okay, he's more like Osama bin Laden type of character, which is also an interesting way to go.
Yeah.
But I remember what Jamie mentioned. He posted it. The Ain't It Cool review by Harry Knowles.
Right.
He was saying that there might be more to the character of the Mandarin.
Okay.
He was like saying that we shouldn't count Ben Kingsley out.
Alright.
Because there were certain scenes he felt that they were off. He was basically saying that the Kingsley character, Trevor character itself was just a sham, and he really is the Mandarin. I don't know. he's like that's Noel's theory.
Okay.
You know, I don't know that.
Too many layers, man. Too many layers.
Maybe he's just thinking way too hard about it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
think so.
But for me, honestly, I was okay with it. It didn't, he ends up as comic relief. It's funny. It cracked me up.
Right.
But disappointment in that sense. But what makes up for me was Guy Pearce. The whole extremist plot line makes up for it.
Yeah.
Guy Pearce made himself to like be more of an equal to Tony Stark. He was, and in that how should I put it? Like in that tradition of Shane Black characters, he had depth to himself. He had depth. But who I did really like there was the James Badge Dale character.
Okay.
Eric Savin,
Right.
who in the comics is Cold Blood.
Right.
This character in Marvel Comics presents before.
Yeah.
But anyway, the character here is like extremist powered and all that.
Like Taggart firepower.
Yeah,
There's like throwaway mention of these characters in Iron Man comics.
Right. And what I liked about the James Badgedale character is that I liked how he's got this casual menace about him. He's just like really. He's deadly, he's just badass, but he's just so casual about it.
Yeah.
It just made him such a cool character.
Right.
Made him a definite heavy for Iron Man to handle. And you have to remember James Badgedale. This is the guy from 24. He was in season 3. He was like the boyfriend of Kim Bauer. He was like part of CTU.
Okay.
And like he was an okay character there,
Yeah.
but in no real personality. But this guy, he's just got his acting has evolved. I mean, I don't know if you watch Flight.
No.
He plays this cancer victim, and I didn't even recognize him. And I saw the credits, like, hey, that's James Badgedale, really good actor. So I'm just like saying this guy for me was one of the characters who impressed me the most. The whole cast was great, and especially Don Cheadle. Don Cheadle, and that's what I mean when it comes to the Lethal Weapon vibe.
Yeah.
Don Cheadle and Tony Stark, going at it like Riggs and Murtaugh. I was like, oh, that was so cool.
Yeah.
And with regard to Pepper Potts, I'm happy she saved the day. It just looked cool when she did it. I mean, you got to remember that he did. Tony Stark did kick what's his name? Killian's ass.
Yeah.
He did do it. And it's kind of like similar to what happened in Dark Knight Rises, where Batman does defeat Bane.
Yeah.
But then but Bane's able to recover and then is blown away by Catwoman.
Right.
And for me, I just took it like that.
I think we got a glimpse of Pepper in armor here, although it was Tony's armor.
Yeah. But that was
because in the comics, she's already got her own armor. She has the rescue armor.
Right.
So that little snippet was nice as far as getting Gwyneth into the armor.
Yeah.
So that was cool to see.
Yeah, I mean the whole.
I was very happy to see Adam Pally make his cameo there because Adam Pally from Happy Endings is there as Max, and when he showed up, I'm like, this voice is familiar. It's like, oh, it's Max, and he was playing Max. So that was funny for me because he was basically playing a Tony Stark fanboy, which I am. So he basically spoke up for the rest of us Tony Stark fanboys.
Tony needs Gary. Gary needs Tony.
Yeah. when he got into that little town in Tennessee, right? It was in Tennessee.
Yeah.
I think I felt that part of the movie slowed down.
Yeah. Actually, for me, that's when I liked a lot of it at that part because contrary to you with the whole thing with the kid, they were trying to go against convention. I felt, because he was like Tony Stark was treating the kid like shit, basically.
Yeah.
Talking down to him. Telling him don't be such a pussy all the time.
Yeah.
It was like it got to that point.